Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie in London and welcome back to my channel. So it's starting to get to be conference season in the romance writing community. We have the big National Romance Writers of America conference coming up in like 2 weeks. I'm so excited. It's going to be my first time going. It's in New York, which is nice and close for me here in Toronto, and I am very, very excited to be going. I've only been to a couple of conferences back in Australia, the Romance Writers of Australia conferences, which if you're an Aussie and you write romance, definitely recommend going to that. They're so much fun, and I'm very, very sad that I won't be making it home back here this year, especially since it's in Melbourne, which is my hometown. But that's another story. So I wanted to talk about something that I actually did a blog post on last year and seemed to resonate with a lot of people. So I thought that putting it in video format would be kind of fun. And you can see this as my Introverts guide to romance conferences. I think that, you know, it is a bit stereotypical to say that writers are introverts, but my experience is for myself and a lot of people that I meet that, you know, a lot of introverts do kind of gravitate towards writing as an activity because it is a very kind of solitary and inwardly thinking thing. But at the same time, part of the joy of being in the romance writing community is being able to get out and meet other writers, because if you're a writer, sometimes it's easy to feel like people don't understand you. You have characters in your head all the time talking to you, and you'll wake up at 3 in the morning with great ideas, and to a normal person who's not a writer, that can seem a little bit crazy. So I feel like when I go to a writer's conference that, you know, I'm with my people, they understand me. But it can be a bit challenging, especially if it's your first time going or you're going to a conference where you don't know a lot of people. So I wanted to share the things that I do to kind of help me get the most out of conference, and to also make sure that I'm not being a complete wallflower and sitting in a corner by myself. So the first thing is that I try to arrange to meet up with people ahead of time so that I know I'm going to know a couple of people at the conference, whether it's just having a coffee with someone that I maybe know from Facebook or Twitter or any of the forums that I'm part of. I organize to do those things up front because then I know that at least I'll have a couple of people to hang out with during the conference. The second thing is I make it a goal to meet at least one new person, because I feel like one person is not very scary. I could definitely do that. And then when you meet that one person, they will inevitably introduce you to other people. And, you know, it's starting with one small thing as opposed to saying, well, I have to go and meet everyone there, which can be very daunting and scary and unrealistic as well. If you're a newbie and you've not been to a conference before, often the romance conferences will have some kind of like a newbie meet and greet or an event that happens at the start of the conference where you can go and meet other first timers. That's a great thing to go and do because everyone else there will probably be as nervous as you are, and it's you know, you can find some newbie buddies to hang around with. Sometimes at some of the conferences, at least the ones I've been to, when you get your little lanyard thing, they will have like a sticker or something on that lets other people know that you're new and you haven't done it before. And I find that when I went my first year, which would have been in 2013, a lot of people will just come up to you and introduce themselves because they know what it's like that first year that you go and you don't really know anyone. So definitely go along and check out what kind of options there are for new conference attendees. Talk about books. This is like probably the simplest thing I can suggest, but if you are going to a romance conference, everyone there is also a romance reader. So if you're unpublished and you're feeling a bit like, oh, why am I here? I'm, you know, surrounded by all these people who are well ahead in their journey than I am. Just talk about the books you love. Ask the person next to you what they're reading. You get also a ton of free books, which is, you know, one of the most exciting things about going to conferences, all the swag. If you've gotten a book that you like the look of in your freebie bag, talk to them about that. Everyone is there because they love books, so you instantly have something to talk about. You instantly have something in common. So use that to your advantage to, you know, get the conversation flowing and stop that horrible awkward silence when you're sitting down at a workshop conference table. Get to know your next door neighbor. So whether that's the person sitting next to you in the opening speech in the morning, whether you're sitting at a little table with some people at lunch or in one of the workshops, just introduce yourself to the person next to you. It can make the whole experience so much better because at least then you have talked to someone, you're not sitting there by yourself. And don't take the seat that's all by itself. I know it's very tempting to go and see that table that's empty over there, because then you won't have to introduce yourself to someone. And take a seat next to someone that you don't know and say, hi, you know, my name is blah. How are you finding the conference? I know it can be daunting introducing yourself, but I find that when you're doing it in a seated kind of environment, you're not often trying to approach a big group of people, which can be really intimidating if you're a little bit on the shy side. So definitely use those pre-existing opportunities to your advantage during the conference. And take a break. I think this is probably a really important thing to say, that if you are shy or if you are introverted, being around that many people through the whole conference, it can be really exhausting, and it can be a real drain on your emotional energy. So I think one of the things that people misunderstand about introverts is they think that we're not people who want to socialize, and I don't think that that's true for everyone. I personally really love going and meeting people, but I find it exhausting. So I think like at the end of conference, I just come home and my poor husband's like, how was it? And I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to go and be in a room on my own. If you have those little breaks through the conference, it can really help you to keep your energy up when you need to. So take advantage of every opportunities. If you do go to a conference, just, you know, give yourself a couple of goals of introducing yourself to people. Take business cards if you have them made up. Even if you're not published, but you have a website and some social media accounts, get some business cards made up and use that as a way of introducing yourself, and swap them with the people that you meet. It can be a really good icebreaker. I also take this guy with me to conference because, and I leave him on the desk when I'm just sitting there. It sounds so silly, but people will come up and they're like, oh, I love your llama, and that's like an instant icebreaker. So if you have something quirky about yourself to wear or to take with you, then definitely do it, because anything that kind of helps break the ice is a really positive thing. If you do happen to be going to the Romance Writers of America conference in New York this year, I will be there. So if you see me, come and say hi. I'm going to be doing the literacy signing, so definitely if you're coming along, please come and say hi. I love meeting people from the writers community, so anyone that's there, definitely come and find me. I will be around. If you see the llama, it's probably me, so do come and say hi. And I hope this video has been helpful. Again, if you have any comments to share, I'd love to hear them. Leave your tips below. Have you been to a Romance Writers conference before, or are you going this year and it's your first time? Let me know, and I'd love to chat to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you want updates for when the latest video is available, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Have a great day. Bye.